Right, hello, as usual, and welcome to the Geek Lab. My voice is getting slightly better, although I've just had a coughing fit. But it's that time again. It's the Star Trek Starships. And let's hope this time we don't get a turd. Literally, like we did last time. Now, I have no idea, as usual, what's in this one, because I avoided having a look. So, hopefully it'll be good. And not bad. Like last one wasn't brilliant. Oh, looks like they've put the label over the over these this time. That's the first. Okay, I'll set this out shot, and I shall try and get the first magazine without looking at what's there. Caught a quick glance, but not seeing any details, so that's good. Right, let's have a look at the magazines. And what number are we on? 47. Trying to look without looking, and 46. So 46. It looks like some sort of Federation ship, and it is. Dun, dun, dun. The U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701C. Ambassador class. It's a good looking ship, isn't it? I like that. I wonder what this ship was used, because don't know it. I might be thinking it, probably shouting at the screen right now, but there we go. Okay, the U.S.S. Enterprise NCC. Let's get the lights right for you, so it's not shining in your face like that. Right. U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701C. Profile design ship making of yesterday's Enterprise. So, it looks like it's come from that episode, Yesterday's Enterprise. And on screen, it is Ambassador class, constructed at Earth Station McKinley, launched in 2332, destroyed 2344. So 12-year career. Length 520 meters, 36 decks. That's big. Top speed warp 8.4. They didn't put warp there. That could be top speed 8.4 elephants. Need to be correct there. Just push that up a little bit. Okay. Weaponry. Type 7 phasers, proton torpedoes, and captain was Rachel Garrett. Okie dokie. Don't know much about this one, so it'll be a learning curve. U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701C. The Ambassador Enterprise C earned a place in history when it was lost defending a Klingon outpost. That's different. The U.S.S. Enterprise NCC 1701C, as if you haven't heard that enough, was an Ambassador class starship that was operated in the early part of the 24th century. She became famous after she was lost with all hands in 2344, defending the Klingon outpost on Narendra 3 from a Romulan attack. This act of heroism impressed the Klingon Empire and was instrumental in the forging of a treaty between the Klingons and the Federation. So this is a significant craft in the history of the Star Trek universe, and being the C, it comes before the D. My favourite. So, looking forward to seeing this model. Okay, when Enterprise C was removed from history, it affected the timeline. Without sacrifice, the Enterprise went to war with the Klingons. Her ships were designed. Oh dear. Noticed this a few times recently. There's a slight lack of proofreading going on. So, her ships were designed for combat rather than exploration, and the crew of the Enterprise D were soldiers, not explorers. I have seen this episode. It's from Generations, and it's a very good episode. Yes, I do like it. Tried to change history, but in the end, they realised that history must stay the same in order for things to remain, and for good rather than battle. Okay, nice looking ship. Thrusters, main bridge, main deflector, sensor dome, main shuttle bay up the rear, starboard warp nacelle, main shuttle bay, bussard collector. Sounds like a type bird, doesn't it? Bussard. Let's go catch some bussards, stick them in there and fuel it. Type 7 phaser strip. Okie dokie. Warp field. Advances in warp field technology meant that the nacelles on the Ambassador class were in a lower position relative to the saucer section than on earlier Starship vessels. Ah, that's why it looks slightly different, does it? Okie dokie. Oh, look at that. Designing the Enterprise C. It starts off looking a bit more like the D, doesn't it? The Enterprise C was the first Enterprise that was designed in a hurry for a single episode of television, but it still took years. Wow. One episode, years of work just to design it. Impressive. And the Probert produced a drawing showing what the Enterprise C might look like long before the ship appeared on screen. The only part of his design that was left in the art department was this 3/4 sketch, which left a lot of unanswered questions. Yes, it did. Splendid. Okay, so the design and evolution of the sea. The making of yesterday's Enterprise. I shall be reading this, assuming there's no really bad English in it this time. One of Star Trek Next Generation's greatest episodes had a long and complicated genesis that involved many changes. Cool. I shall be reading that. And if you get this, I suggest you read it too. Ugh. Ugh. Right, I need to cover up this so I don't see what's coming on next. And today's cover is July 1982, Television, Servicing Video Construction Developments, Rediffusion Mark IV Chassis, Video Synthesizer, anyway, cover up that back page so I don't see what the next ship is. On screen, Star Trek Next Generation Yesterday's Enterprise. Appeared in no movies and no other places, obviously. The story that Stilwell and Gagnon developed that involved Tasha Yar relied heavily on elements from the original series. In it, Spock's father Sarek is visiting the Guardian of Forever when an accident results in the death of Surak, the father of Vulcan logic. This alters the timeline, bringing Tashi back to life, but creating an alternative history where Vulcans are warlike people. ATP. So, and the back picture. I think they've changed it slightly because that wasn't, I don't remember that being there. So, there we go, let's have a look at the model, shall we? Which is, I think, the first one. Don't want to look too close because I don't want to get the wrong model and spoil the surprise. Okay, here she is, the Enterprise C. First impressions, wow, it's different. It's got a lot of different markings on it. No Aztecing. Let's have a look, shall we? Take her out. Right, here's the vessel itself. The stand. And the other part of stand. So, let's back together. That over there. And let's have a look at the ship. First impressions. Got a bit of weight to it. Yay. Are you going to focus? There you go. Function. Focus. Auto focus. Go auto. Camera issues. Right. Okay. So there she is. Metal part is, by the looks of it, the saucer. This is all plastic as usual. It's a nice little model. There's plenty of detail on the paintwork, although there we go. There's no Aztecing to it, but these ships didn't have so much Aztecing design to them at this generation, did they? So let's have a look at this properly. So there's a side view. Front view, other side view, top view. Top view, that's an old computer operating system, isn't it? Yes. Oh, sorry, geek coming out at me now. Top view, you can see the bridge there. It flies past the camera. And there's the old front view. And the rear view. So there we go. A fine looking model. No obvious flaws on this one, no damage. Pods are straight. So there we go. That's a nice little model. I shall put you there. I shall let it stand open. And it's going to be like that, isn't it? There she is. Ta-da! I shall show you a proper view of it on its stand once the other one is open. But there we go. That is that one. We shall put you to the side and get ready for the next one. Right, for our second one, I'm going to move this over here slightly. We have another Klingon ship, the U.S.S NEG'VAR. It's got plenty of colour to it, and it looks upside down. What's going on? Weird. It's either got its ass to us, or it's upside down. What's going on here? This is a bit weird. There's the lights up here. Right, okay. The NEG'VAR class. Sorry, I can't say that at all. Launched 24th century, length 682.32 meters. Maximum speed, warp 9.6. She's a fast bugger. And let's have a look at this fast bugger. Okay. So it looks like they have taken a picture from behind. I don't know, I'll have a look at it in a second. Okay, page 04, the U.S.S NEG'VAR class. Page 10, Robert O'Reilly on Gurun. Or Gowron. So I don't know, somebody called that. Designing the ship and on screen. Alright, launch 2372, length 682.32 meters. Crew 2,500. Wow. Top speed warp 9.6, 20 disruptor cannons, 1 forward disruptor, 4 torpedo launchers. This vessel meant trouble. Meant business, that's the phrase I was looking for. It meant business. Okay, so it looks like it is backwards on the... Why would they put a picture of the back end of it? I don't know, maybe they're trying to get the design underneath. Something like that. Okay, right. Launched in 2372, the U.S.S NEG'VAR was hugely powerful, no shite, and the new flagship of the Klingon Empire. Ah, that's why. It's the flagship. One of the most prominent features of the was a short spike that was situated in the gap at the front of the Cobra head prow of the ship. It also featured weapon pods on the ventral side, on either side of the main body, and embedded warp nacelles that glowed red towards the outside of the forward swept wings. Okay. Ooh, pictures from the episodes. The first time Starfleet encountered the was when it suddenly decloaked in close proximity to Deep Space Nine. Both Cisco and Dax had heard of it before and knew it was the new Klingon flagship. Looks older than Deep Space Nine. Looks like it's from the original series, doesn't it? Doesn't look that sort of age. Oh well. Pretty diagrams. I hope the models as well coloured as this. Disruptor cannons. Impulse engine, hydrogen ram intake, whatever that is. Okay, right. Robert O'Reilly on Gowron. Actor Robert O'Reilly looks back on how his character Chancellor Gowron evolved during Deep Space Nine. Oh right, so. Eesh. The much less fearsome looking actor Robert O'Reilly pictured without the Klingon makeup. He actually looks scary without the makeup. He looks better as a Klingon. I'm sure that's just because it looks very white in that picture. Okay, so yep, article on him playing it. That's nice, different. That's different. I like that sort of thing. Different aspects of Star Trek. Designing the phlegm. Cargo loading door, impulse intakes, phaser emitters, com antenna, main disruptor cannon, embedded warp nacelles. These are canted inwards. Sensor strip. What's this? Daughtercraft scout ship. I wonder if that's on the model. It's got to be part of it. It was relatively small because it was built from the same moulds that have been used to create the Varchar model. It was first designed and built. When it was first designed and built, it was known as within the Star Trek production as the Rude class. This is probably a corruption of the Klingon word Rude, which means emperor. Rude, emperor class. Very good. It's a nice looking ship, isn't it? Very colourful. Don't let us down with the model. And need to cover this last one. So let's remind you of the other ship. Try not to look, try not to look. There we go. On screen, first appearance, All Good Things, Next Generation. TV appearances, Star Trek Next Generation, Star Trek Deep Space Nine, Star Trek Voyager. Designed by Rick Steinberg. The Regent's flagship in the Star Trek Deep Space Nine episode Shattered Mirror was almost identical to Navarre's warship in the Prime Universe, except it was much larger. A specially built 30-foot-long studio model, wow, just to the underside of the ship was built to make it appear enormous in comparison with the Defiant. Wow, 30 foot, Christ, that's big. Okay, so let's have a look. There we go, there's the back thing. So the magazines are good as usual. There's a few errors seem to be slipping in recently, so need to be watching out for that. Quality control. Proofreading. And the model. Ta-da! Are you ready? Now, as we've seen in the book, this is quite a detailed model, quite brightly painted. Let's hope they haven't let us down. Here it goes. That's the above side. Oh yeah, there's the scout ship. Small, I thought. Oh, there we go. Alright, let's get it out and have a look. Try and avoid showing you the underside for now. I want to make you wait in anticipation. Anticipation. Well, that part is metal at least because I can feel that. And stand this underneath. And there we go. Right, let's have a look at the vessel. Here's the top. Here's it coming at you. Cleopatra coming at you. Just change my lights. Cleopatra coming at you. Focus on that. There we go. And the underside. That looks like landing gears, doesn't it? Well, it's not. It looks like landing gears. I have to say, to be honest. Let's have a look. Detail missing from that undercarriage. But other than that, the rest of it seems okay. Yes, it's an interesting ship. You'd think they'd make it a little bit larger scale. Just doesn't seem to scale as it should be. It's tiny. And you've got the Enterprise C over here, and yeah, it's pretty similar size. Which does spoil it with these models that are supposed to be massive, but I suppose it has to be within the limits of the box and everything, so there we go. Yep. There is quite a bit of metal in this one. I think these entire wings structure, I think most of it's metal under there. Obviously their superstructure isn't. That's metal. Plastic. And obviously they're plastic, and these will be, no, that's part of the metal structure. Yep. That's not. Anyway, most of this appears to be metal. So there we go. Right, let's have a look at it in different angles. There's it coming at it. It's shoot at you. Focus. There we go. And sideways. They look huge when you look sideways. Back side. There we go. That side. Top. And the bottom. So there we go. Right, I shall put this on the stand. We'll have a quick look. Not going to show the fleet this week because it's quite big. We'll just do the fleet every now and again. Something to look at as it evolves. We're about halfway through the collection, aren't we? Number 47, so we're beyond halfway point. This is 90 at the moment. So there we go. There's our ship. And what I'll do, I shall change camera angles and you can have a look at them both together. And there they are together on their stands, facing off. Although, as in my Facebook group, there was a cartoon posted that showed that in reality, in Star Trek land, they all face off like this. In reality, it's space. They could be facing off like this. Off like this. Any angle they could be facing off. But I suppose that if you're non-friendly, you want to be in a position where your weapons are facing and you have the lowest profile presented. So it makes sense for them to face that way. But in reality, if they're friendly, they could face at any angle. Because you're not in an atmosphere, you're in a vacuum. Just something I thought I'd moan about. Okay, so there you go. Please comment. Thumbs up if you like, thumbs down if you don't. And we have our social media down below, where you can join our group and talk to us more about these things and other things. And I've already said it, but I'll say it again. Subscribe if you haven't and you want to see more of this stuff. And there is, just coming up at the end of the video, a link to all my other videos on the Star Trek Starship series. So thank you very much.
You need to quit being dirty. You're a dirty boy.